Why do most retail traders fail while a small fraction consistently profit? It is not IQ or luck, it is a fundamentally different decision framework. Professionals do not try to predict every market wiggle, they wait for opportunities where the payoff is so lopsided that even a modest success rate generates robust returns. This edge stems from stacking probabilities in your favor over many trades. The series dissects the 6 most common amateur errors: short-termism, capital fragility, no system, win rate obsession, lack of falsifiable hypotheses, and emotional trading, and rebuilds each one through a quantitative lens. Each error represents a predictable failure mode that erodes capital through poor risk management and cognitive biases. By the end, you will have a blueprint for thinking like a statistician rather than a gambler, systematically separating signal from noise and allowing the law of large numbers to work for you. This transformation from haphazard betting to methodical edge exploitation is what separates the few who survive from the many who don't. The first pitfall is a fixation on the immediate. Beginners treat the market like a video game, checking prices every hour, trading on minor news, and measuring success in days. This myopia triggers overtrading, which slices returns through commissions and spreads. Professionals invert this. They understand that wealth compounds over years, not hours. Academic research, notably by Barber and Odeen, demonstrates that high turnover accounts underperform the market after costs. Frequent trading amplifies emotional mistakes and transaction drag. The irony is that the most significant price moves, the ones that build fortunes, often unfold over months, not minutes. Consider a stock that doubles over 2 years. The daily noise obscures the trend, but the patient holder captures the entire move. By zooming out to a quarterly or even annual time frame, a trader stops reacting to noise and starts aligning with structural shifts. Patience is not passive, it is a deliberate, high-return strategy that leverages the power of compounding. A professional's edge goes beyond analysis, it is structural. If every bill must be paid from trading profits, the pressure to generate income becomes a cognitive poison, forcing ill-timed exits and opportunistic deviations from the plan. Top traders almost always have parallel income streams: interest from fixed income holdings, dividend checks from equity portfolios, or advisory fees. This steady cash flow means they can sit through a 20% drawdown without sweating next month's rent. In contrast, the undercapitalized amateur, when faced with a losing streak, is forced to close positions at the worst possible moment, crystallizing losses that could recover. The mathematics is cruel. Recovering from a 50% loss requires a 100% gain, an arithmetic fact that underscores why drawdowns must be contained. Capital resilience is not a psychological virtue, it is a prerequisite for rational decision-making, because when survival is on the line, the amygdala hijacks the prefrontal cortex and risk assessment becomes dangerously distorted. Expected value is the only lens that matters. A strategy with a 30% win rate can be wildly profitable if winners are 5 times larger than losers. For instance, over 10 trades with 3 wins of $500 each and 7 losses of $100 each, the net profit is $800, despite being wrong 70% of the time. The amateur obsessed with being right ignores this simple arithmetic and piles into high win rate, low payoff setups that bleed slowly through many small gains erased by occasional large losses. Professionals calculate EV for every trade idea, and they walk away when it is negative, no matter how compelling the narrative. This formula also illuminates the hidden cost of fees and slippage. A marginal EV quickly turns negative once transaction costs are subtracted. Making EV the decision gate does not require perfect forecasts, it requires honest parameter estimates and the discipline to avoid coin flip bets. When in doubt, do nothing, because capital preservation is paramount. The reward-to-risk ratio, often called R multiple, crystallizes the asymmetry of a setup. If a trader risks $1 to make 3, R equals 3. The magic is in the break-even math. An R of 3 means you only need to be right 1/4 of the time to avoid losing money. For example, with 4 trades where 1 wins $300 and 3 lose $100 each, the net is 0. Amateurs routinely enter trades with an R of 1 or worse, risking exactly as much as they hope to gain, which demands a flawless win rate just to stay flat, an impossibility over many trades. Professionals set a hard floor: no trade gets executed unless R exceeds 2.0, and ideally 3.0. This filter alone eliminates most mediocre setups and forces capital into only the most lopsided opportunities. It is the difference between hoping and having a structural advantage, because even with average accuracy, the mathematics guarantees profitability over time. Walking into the market without a hypothesis is like sailing without a compass. It feels adventurous until the storm hits. A professional's trade idea is a falsifiable proposition. For example, if the manufacturing PMI drops below 48 while the yield curve steepens, then cyclical stocks will underperform by at least 5% over 6 weeks. This statement contains a conditional trigger, a predicted outcome, and an implicit falsification point. If the PMI stays above 48 or the yield curve flattens, the thesis is invalid, and the position is closed, regardless of P&L. This process does not eliminate losses, it eliminates the paralysis that comes from not knowing why you are in a trade. Decisions become mechanical and stress-free because the exit is predetermined. Falsifiability combats confirmation bias, forcing you to objectively assess evidence rather than cherry-pick data that supports a preconceived notion. It transforms trading from opinion-based gambling to evidence-based probability assessment. Markets are dynamic, yet amateurs cling to stale forecasts. Bayesian updating forces continuous reassessment. Prior conviction, say, a 60% belief that a stock will rise, gets multiplied by the likelihood of the latest data given that belief. If the company misses earnings, the likelihood is low, and the posterior drops sharply, possibly triggering an exit. Mathematically, if the likelihood ratio is only 0.3, the new probability becomes roughly 31%, well below the original 60%. This framework is the antidote to anchoring. It mandates that the weight of new evidence shifts your view in a disciplined, numeric way. Quantitative traders often embed this logic in algorithms, but even discretionary traders can adopt a rough mental version. The key is asking, given what just happened, should my conviction increase or decrease? Honest answers preserve capital by preventing the trap of holding losing positions based on outdated beliefs. Bayesian updating turns new information into a structural advantage. Professionals do not try to predict a single path, they map a distribution of outcomes. The process is straightforward: identify the 3 or 4 most plausible economic and market narratives, assign rough probabilities, and define the price implications. Critically, they then figure out what action they will take under each path, before any of them materialize. For instance, if a recession scenario has a 20% probability and implies a 40% market decline, they pre-commit to reducing positions by half if leading indicators confirm the trend. This is the art of being beyond the curve. When volatility hits, there is no frantic scrambling because the decision tree has already been climbed in advance. The worst-case scenario receives special attention. If it implies a 50% drawdown and the trader cannot weather that, position size must be reduced. Survival is not about hoping for the best, it is about preparing for the bad and scaling accordingly, ensuring that even adverse outcomes do not threaten financial ruin. Even a positive expected value system can destroy capital if position sizing is wrong. The Kelly criterion solves for the optimal fraction of capital to risk per trade, maximizing long-term growth while preventing ruin. The formula is F * equals P B plus 1 dash 1 slash B, where P is win probability and B is the ratio of average win to average loss. If a strategy has a 40% win rate and wins are 3 times losses, the full Kelly fraction is about 20%. But robust estimates of P and B are difficult in non-stationary markets. This is why professionals almost never bet full Kelly. They discount to a quarter or half to build a margin of safety, trading a bit of growth for a much lower risk of catastrophic drawdown. The amateur mistake is betting far more than Kelly suggests, sometimes 20 to 30% of capital on a single idea, which virtually guarantees a severe drawdown at some point. By sizing mathematically, the trader turns a probabilistic edge into a compounding machine, not a gamble. The difference between the two camps is not talent, it is process. The amateur operates on emotion and impulse, buying because a stock is cheap, selling because it feels toppy. The professional operates like a factory. Raw data feeds into a decision engine that outputs a trade only when strict criteria are met. This side-by-side comparison reveals why consistency eludes most. Consider the amateur who hears a hot tip and buys immediately, versus the professional who checks whether the idea aligns with their EV and R multiple filters. The amateur's process is unrepeatable and unmeasurable, the professional's is documented, back-tested, and refined. When a professional loses money, they know exactly why, and whether the loss was within the model's expectation. When an amateur loses money, they often have no idea what went wrong, leaving them unable to improve. Transforming from one column to the other is the central project of every serious trader, requiring a complete overhaul of decision architecture. The final layer is execution discipline. Even a brilliant strategy fails if the trader overrides it in the heat of the moment. Professionals remove as much discretion as possible by codifying entry, exit, and position sizing rules. They keep meticulous records, not just of wins and losses, but of the state of mind and the data available at the time. Post-trade analysis separates skill from luck. A trade that made money but violated the rules is a failure. A trade that lost money while following the model is a success worth repeating. For example, buying after a signal but panic selling during a drawdown is a process failure, even if a loss was avoided. This clinical detachment is what allows professionals to operate calmly during panics. They trust the system because they have tested it, and they know that a single trade says nothing about long-term performance. Over hundreds of iterations, the edge materializes, and discipline becomes the moat that competitors struggle to replicate. These 5 pillars form a closed loop. Objectivity ensures you do not fall in love with a thesis. Reward-to-risk filters out marginal ideas. Scenario mapping prevents paralysis when the unexpected occurs. Patience keeps capital idle until the odds are stacked heavily in your favor. And repetition, over months and years, turns a modest statistical edge into significant wealth. The loop is self-reinforcing. Each successful cycle builds confidence in the system, which deepens objectivity and discipline. For instance, seeing the R multiple filter consistently eliminate losers reinforces trust, making it easier to exercise patience. Beginners often look for the one secret indicator. Professionals understand that the secret is not a single tool but a robust process applied relentlessly. Markets will always be noisy and unpredictable, but a systematic, evidence-driven approach tilts the long-term odds decisively in your favor, transforming random walks into steady equity curves. Trading does not have to be a casino. When you replace impulse with expected value, gut feel with Bayesian updating, and hope with the Kelly criterion, you step into a world where probability works for you, not against you. The amateur's errors are not moral failings, they are predictable consequences of missing a quantitative framework. Without it, the brain defaults to heuristics that evolved for survival on the savannah, not for navigating stochastic markets. Build that framework by defining your EV calculation, setting a minimum R multiple, and pre-committing to position sizes. Test it rigorously, and then have the patience to let it run. Remember, the market rewards those who prepare for losses and size for survival, not those who chase every tick. Markets reward discipline, not certainty. If this analysis helped, like the video and subscribe to DeepQuant. Tell us in the comments which market idea we should test next. Evidence beats noise. Control risk before chasing returns.